Okay, welcome to lecture Energy Conservation in Motive Power, Lighting and ACs. So till date we have discussed the energy conservation in motive power. So in that case, just we will take the highlights of this one. It is found that most of the motor or popular motor in the industries is the three-phase induction motor, especially it is the squirrel cage motor. So we will discuss only the energy conservation in squirrel cage induction motor in detail. We have already discussed. The major point is to find out the different capacity of motor. We have to make some chart. What is the location, capacity of motor and motor loading. So motor loading can be calculated either by calculating the power input divided by nameplate reading of the motor, or the current taken by motor divided by the full load current. It will gives the, or it will indicate the percentage load on the motor. If the percentage of the percentage loading of the motor is less than 50%, we can do for, or we can go for the changing connection from delta to star, which will reduces the iron losses and constant losses, that is the constant losses, and hence we can improve the loading of motor and efficiency. The second thing is going to found by this way is oversizing. If the machine is very much oversized, we can replace by the smaller capacity. We have taken the example of bypassing some water pumping system or some other process fluids are there. Next is the rewinding effect. If the motor is rewound many times, it should be replaced by the new one. If there are large number of small capacity motor up to the 5 HP and 10 HP, so it is better to use the energy efficient motor, because energy efficient motor give higher efficiency, especially for the 2 HP to the 10 HP or 15 HPs are there. And again, its working power factor is good. So when the motor loading is small, the average power factor or working power factor of the induction motor is smaller, and therefore we have to improve with by connecting some suitable capacitor. And this is the chart which indicate the suitable capacitor rating for the different type of different capacity of motor in HP with respect to the speed of the motor. So most of the popular motor is a 1500 RPM motors. So it is found that at 30 HP there is a 8 kVr. If 40 HP it is a 10 kVr. So one fourth of the capacity we can use the capacitor to improve the power factor. And the improving power factors can be carried out with by calculating the proper way, that is the kVAR needed is equal to the kilowatt into bracket theta 1 10 theta 1 minus 10 theta 2, where where theta 1 is the initial existing power factor, and theta 2 is the targeted power factor angle. Okay, so by this formula, we can find out the total capacity of capacitor to be connected to improve the power factor. Same formula is used for the average power factor improvement, and we can use the APFC nowadays. KVAH billing is there, therefore the power factor improvement and power factor maintenance become a very important. The power factor should not be should not be lagging or leading. It should near to the unity. 0.99 or 0.95 is there, 0.99 or 0.98 is there, then and then we can get the proper benefit of energy conservation. Otherwise, we have to pay more charges toward the KVA and KVAH. Okay, so this is the table which we have already discussed. We have to make one chart, rating of the motor, rated current, actual current taken by motor, actual KVA and KVA, power factor, kilowatt and speed. And from this chart we can come to the some suitable conclusion. Either we have to change the motor if it is a oversize. If the motor is rewound many times, it should be replaced by the energy efficient motor. And if the motor loading is small, less than 50%, we can do the connection, we can change the connection from delta connected motor. If it is a delta connected motor, we can change into the star connection. So the advantage is that the per phase voltage get reduces, where starting out it's not a big matter. We can do very well and it will give the very effective uh, say energy conservation in the motive power, especially for the three phase squirrel cage induction motor. So the things we have already discussed in the motive power. Now today we will start the lighting system. So we should not take lighting as a very lightly, because it play a very important role in the ambience of the as well as the working atmosphere, and then say elegance of the system. Okay, so because of these points, lighting become a very important one. No doubt in the industry, the lighting load is very small as compared to the motive power. The motive is hardly 2 to 5% load is there or for the lighting system, as compared to the motive power or heating load or some cooling loads are there. But for the industry, but for the residential and the commercial, the most of the load is the lighting load. If you visit any say shopping malls or some markets are there, so street lights are there, some displayed lights are there, hoardings lights are there. In the residential, again the lighting load is very high. We will use ACs for particular period of time, in particular period of say season, as well as in the daytime and the night time also. But the lighting load is very high in case of the time. If you consider, it is 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., and this 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. is the peaking load over the power system. So if you do the energy conservation in the lighting system, it is not only helping in the energy conservation itself in the lighting system, but it is also affected over the peak demand period and peaking period over there. So our peak period, maximum demand which occur on the power plant, entire power plant is generally from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. evening. Okay, so during that time, which type of loads are added? Is a lighting load is added. So if you do the energy conservation in the lighting system, definitely we are able to reduce the electric bill of the consumer, especially for the residential as well the commercial. Then similar to the corporation, municipal corporations, isn't it? Because they are using the street light, they are providing the street light for the peoples are there, isn't it? Similarly, if you reduce such type of load, definitely it will gives the reduction in maximum demand which occur from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay, so this is one things are there. Now we will see what are the different terminologies are used in the lighting system. Once it is able, we will just remember these points, terminology. It become very easy to understand that energy conservation. So lamp is the equipment which produce the light, that is a light source. So you can say that your incandescent light is a lamp is there. Okay, it may be a fluorescent lamp, it may be in the form of compact fluorescent lamp or your regular fluorescent lamp, a mercury vapor lamp, sodium vapor lamp, LED lamp. So all are the equipment which are used to emit the illumination, or which is used to the output of this one is the lumens, and therefore it is called as a lamps. Incandescent lamp is the simple, we can say that filament lamps are there which we are using nowadays. It is entirely replaced by the CFL and LED light, even from the home, domestic, as well as residential, sorry, domestic, commercial, in the corporations, even in the villages nobody is using such type of lamps are there nowadays. Very few lamps are using in the villages, and people, the reason is only that the cost of lamp is smaller as compared to the LED lamp and CFL lamp. So this is the things, it is a incandescent lamp. In case of incandescent lamp, there is a one filament of tungsten filament we are using. When the current flows through the tungsten element, it become red hot, and when it become a red hot, it emit the light as well as the heat energy, and hence the efficiency or efficacy, not we will use the word efficacy, the efficacy of the filament lamp is very small. The reason is that whatever the input of the power input, 50% power is going to waste in the form of heat, and when it become red hot, then and then it will emit the light energy. So many times you may observe or you can do the practical is that if you are applying the less voltage to the incandescent lamp, simple filament lamp, it does not produce much more light, whereas it produces only the heat. But as soon as when we give the rated voltage, then and then it will produce the proper illumination or proper light output. So we found that if there is a voltage fluctuations are there or voltage dips are there, your filament lamp effect of light output is much more over the filament lamp as compared to your fluorescent lamp and LED lamp. So this is the reason most of the energy is going to waste in the form of heat, and we are not using light as a heat energy, isn't it? So this is the one lamp is there. Second is the gas discharge lamp. In the gas discharge lamp, there are many types are there, isn't it? So it is a fluorescent lamps. Generally, we will call as a tube light. Second is the compact fluorescent lamp. Here the technology is same. Inside the filament, we are inside the vacuum, inside the say glass tube, we are using the fluorescent material, and that fluorescent material will emit the light energy when uh, uh, electrode and this one is going to energize or discharge is going to occur. Okay, so here the technology is same, only the size is compact, so therefore it become a compact fluorescent lamp. So one conclusion is that when we are using the fluorescent lamp, it should not be replaced by the compact fluorescent lamp, because here the technology is same. So there is a no much more energy conservation we can observe by replacing the tube light fitting, that is a simple fluorescent lamp, by the CFL lamp. Okay. Second is the mercury vapor lamps we are using in the street light and outdoor type. Mercury vapor lamp, it is a milky white color, even it is a somewhat slight pinky color is there. If you just go by white color cloth is there, it is just it is appear like a light pinky color. So it is a mercury vapor lamp, is a somewhat milky colors are there. Second is the sodium vapor lamp. Sodium vapor lamp is a somewhat higher efficacy as compared to the mercury vapor lamp, but the one drawback is that it is a color, it will give the color blindness. The color blindness is that whatever the color which is available or whatever the color which is appear in the natural daylight, it is different under the mercury vapor sodium vapor lamp. So sodium vapor lamps are used where the color is not important, like a street light. It may be a shunting yard, it may be in a railway station, it may be some yard or godowns are there where the color is not important. We can use the mercury vapor lamp. So it is also comes under the high pressure discharge lamp. Whereas the fluorescent lamp and compact fluorescent lamps comes under the low discharge lamps, and mercury vapor lamp, sodium vapor lamp, and metal halide lamp are comes under the high pressure discharge lamp. And these are have a higher capacity, in the capacity of 20 watt, 150 watt, 250 watt, 500 watts, 400 watts are there. And it is especially used for the outdoor purposes. We never use mercury vapor lamp in the home or say in the shops are there. The reason is that it will take some time to ignite, and there is a color blindness. Okay, so these are the some different type of lamps are available in the market. Now luminaries is the total, just a minute. Luminaries, it is the luminaries what we call the luminaries is nothing but the um, uh, it is consist of switch gears. Means if there is a choke, if there is a blast, there is a igniter, there is a starter, it is stand for connect for mounting the lamp. So this entire unit is called as a luminaries. So that shape of luminaries and size of luminaries, objectives of the luminaries is different for the different application. For example, we do not use reflective type luminaries in the home. Sorry. Whereas this reflective type of luminaries is available in the market, it is available in the outdoor purposes to increase the light output. Okay, so in that case, from the upper side there is a some mirror optic material is there. It may be a some silver coated, it may be a white coated, or it may be a some nichrome is there. So it will reflect more light, so it is the application. Whereas if suppose you are going to install the light fitting in the outdoor purposes, so the luminary should be a weatherproof, there should not be a water entry or moisture entry inside the fittings are there. So the application of luminaries, so entire unit is different for the different application. For example, if it is a cement industry where more dust and dirt is there, similarly, for the thermal power plant, there are more dust and are there, so that fitting should be totally enclosed over the glasses are there, isn't it? Such that we easily clean the cover glass, and no need to replace the dust inside the luminaries are there. So it is a glass covered luminaries are there where dust and dirt are there. Similarly, if you are using the luminaries in the petrochemical industries and some pharmaceutical and chemical industries where ethane, methane gases are there, explosive gases are there, we cannot use the regular light fitting, regular lights or which are used for the outdoor purposes. It should be a flame proof. Flame proof means whatever the short circuit occur inside the lamp or some fault is occur inside the lamp, whatever the flames, whatever the sparkings are there inside the lamp, it will not come out from the luminaries, otherwise it will catch the fire. So whatever the different type of enclosures we are using in case of luminaries, in case of motors, in case of switch gears, are different for the petrochemical industries and the pharmaceutical industries. It is especially made, and it is called as a flame proof luminary. Flame proof fittings are there, flame proof motors are there, flame proof starters are there, flame proof luminaries are there, isn't it? So it is the type where we have to use this type of fittings in the different applications. Okay, so this is called as a luminary. So luminary is a device that distributes, filters, transformer the light emitted from one or more lamps. The luminaries include all part of necessary for fixing the protecting the lamps except the lamp themselves. So if you're going to purchase the light, the luminary cost is different and lamp cost is different. Suppose you are going to purchase a outdoor type mercury vapor lamps, so the total luminary is cost is different, and you have to purchase lamp cost is different. So excluding lamp, it is called as a luminaries. Lux. Lux is the unit of lumens intensity. So total lumens means total light output from the source, but it does not reach total output to the working floor. Some of the light are diffused from the curtain, from the atmosphere, or we can say that surrounding media, and it is also depend upon the, just a minute, लेकिन मैं लेक्चर ले रहा, थोड़ा देर से बात करता हूँ. ठीक है ना, वोल्टेज कितना आ रहा? ऐसा है क्या? मैं आता हूँ उधर एक 10-15 मिनट में, ठीक है. Yes. So lux is the illumination level measured at the working surface per unit area. So total lumens reaching per unit area is called as a lux. Okay, so it is the unit of this one. Hello, hello, hello. Luminous efficacy. So this efficacy generally we will told as a efficiency, and efficiency is always less than 100%, or the ratio of output divided by input is always less than unity. Whereas the lumens output, total lumens divided by the watt, is always greater than 1. So it is called as a efficacy. So lumens output, the total lumens output from the light source or lamp divided by the capacity of lamp is nothing but the luminous efficacy. For example, a 20 watt CFL lamp output is 200 lumens. Okay, so 200 divided by 20. Okay, so it is a more than 1. So therefore it is called as a efficacy. So luminous efficacy is nothing but the total lumens output from the light source divided by the power consumed by the lamp. Similarly, so it is different for the different type of lamp. Definitely the incandescent lamp or your simple filament lamp efficacy will be smaller. Somewhat higher efficacy is the mercury vapor lamp, sodium vapor lamp, and higher efficacy for the LED lamp. So the efficacy of each type of lamp is different, and lowest efficacy is the incandescent lamp. Whereas in the discharge lamp, uh, fluorescent lamp efficacy is very good, whereas the mercury vapor lamp efficacy is smaller. Similarly, the LED light efficacy is very good. So here the efficacy means is the total lumens output from the source divided by the power consumed by the lamp. Now next is the color rendering index. That color rendering index, it is a measure of degree to which the color of surface illuminated by the light, given light source, conform to that of the same surface under the reference illuminant, or suitable allowance have been made for the uh, for adaptation. What is it means? It means that suppose you have bring a color, red color, in the natural daylight. So this is the reference light. Okay. Now if you put that red color card below the LED light, it will show the same color. If you just place into the mercury vapor lamp, slightly the color is going to change. But if you put that same color, red color, inside just below the sodium vapor lamp, you will find that the color becomes somewhat different color. It is not, you will not see the it is a red color, it is a yellow color. So there the color blindness is there. Or we can say that if the color of object which is observed in the natural daylight and the same object observed in the any given light, the closeness is called as the color rendering index. If it is very close, say it is 100%. If it is 80%, the meaning is that the color of object in the natural daylight and the color of same color object under the given light source is different, and that different is 20% color is different. So the closeness of appearance of any object in the natural daylight and given light source, it's called as a color rendering index. So where is the color rendering index is important? For example, if you go in the uh, uh, cloth showroom, isn't it, or some fabric showrooms are there, the color is very important. Otherwise your assumption is somewhat different, and when you bring it to the natural daylight, the color is going to change. Okay, color matchings are there. Painting shops are there for the industrial. For example, painting shop of two-wheeler, four-wheelers are there. Similarly, the dyeing section and coloring section are in the textile industry, the color important is there. So we have to use, or we have to select the such type of lamp which will give the similar to the natural daylight. Whereas the color is not important, like a railway station, shunting yard, then go downs. Okay, open spaces are there where the color is not important. We can use the sodium vapor lamp, we can use the mercury vapor lamp where color is not important, like a street light. But where the color is important, we have to use the things which is similar under the natural daylights. Okay, so we will see this is the next time. We will stop because somewhere problem in the system. हाँ, बोलो।